All right. So we have some stuff that we need to take care of first. So let's go to attendance first. All right. Okay, that's fine. Close current tab. Close that tab too. All right, perfect. All right, here we go. Eon.
Hello.
Okay, Alex Bai.
Here.
Alan.
Here.
Oh, hello, Alan.
Oh, hello, Mr. Marty.
Oh, how are you? The chosen one. Where is the chosen one? Okay. Uma Desai. She'll probably be here. Henry. Where's Henry at? I wonder if people forgot that we had class today. Eleanor Rigby. She is absent excused. Lance Matthews is here. Logan's here. Dylan, the second no chosen one. And then Danny Anos is here. Cool. And of course, Getty Woo. All right, so, okay, that being said, giving you guys a heads up, if you go online right now, you guys have an assignment. It is a quiz, okay? I want you guys to take the quiz right now. Go for it. Did I lose anybody in this class? There's 13 of you. Why do I only have 12? Is there somebody new? Is Yubin still in the class? She did the homework assignment. Okay, Uma, I marked you.
Hi.
You're fine, Uma. Go online and please take your quiz.
Okay.
The chosen one has finally arrived. Okay. Sitting in what looks to be an emperor's chair. If you if you can, please go onto Portal, take your quiz. To help you relax, I will do soothing sounds of the ocean. Shh. Shh. Gah, gah! Oh, sorry. All my old students remember that. Okay, when you are done, give me a thumbs up and just step away from your computer. When you're done, just step away. The screen will go blank. It is on a 5-minute timer, just giving you guys that heads up. Alex, I answered that question yesterday. Not The curly braces you don't need. Are we good? Okay, let me take a look. All right. Henry, Shanglu, and Alan is still going. So we'll wait a second for Alan.
Yeah, I already submitted the answer.
You already submitted it?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Uma,
Yeah, what's
I'm
up?
going to cut you some slack because still theoretically it could work, but the columns in the string args, they go in the middle.
Oh. Oh.
Let me cut you some slack, Thanos. You misspelled something. But I'm going to cut you some slack because I know what you meant. And theoretically it could still work. Okay, your quizzes are graded. Okay, not bad. All right, good start, guys. Okay, so that being said, let me move on. So what I need everybody to do, go ahead, open up Eclipse. Always have Eclipse open. Always have Eclipse open. And I will go over the quiz with you guys. We don't have class tomorrow. So I will go over the quiz with you guys later. Henry, you're really late.
I'm sorry about that.
You need to go on to Portal and take your quiz.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, you'll have to follow. You'll have to just watch the beginning of this portion of class. Okay. All right. So moving on, what I need you guys to do is I need you guys to make a new project and a new class called. So make a new project called variables and make a new class. Okay. All right. So a new project and a new class. So the project name is variables. The class name is tester. All right. So again, what we're going to do is we're basically learning, guys, about all the variable types today. All right. These are all the variables that there are. We will cover the one variable that it's technically a variable that we're not going to cover has to do with words. We'll get into that later. Okay. So you guys are familiar with how to make comments, correct? Now's the time to take notes. So you guys need to know not only the variable types, but you need to know the sizes as well. In other programming languages, they have what's called typecasted, which means based on the number that you put in, it will determine it for you. Okay. So that being said, let's continue. Java does not work that way. Java is an older language. It was done in the early to mid 80s. When programming languages were first developed, you had to be very, very, very careful about memory, RAM. Okay, RAM was not readily available. it was still really, 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 really expensive. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, how many of you guys have like a bathroom floor or a tile floor that's got squares? Okay, or you guys imagine like a ceiling tile or something like that. So imagine that all of that is your memory, okay? And let's say your floor has all these squares on it. So a computer's memory is these squares. And in Java, what you want to do is whenever you create a variable, you have to tell the computer what type of variable it is. And depending on the variable, the size will increase. What you're doing is you're creating a reservation. You guys have obviously been to a restaurant where you've had reservations, correct? You get to the table. Is anyone sitting at that table? No, but it is reserved for people to sit there, right? So when you create a variable in Java and in programming languages, essentially what you're doing is you guys are setting aside little containers. You're basically making table reservations. There might be stuff in there, and there might not be, but you have reserved that memory for that specific variable. Now with the gigs and gigs of memory that we have available today in RAM, memory, like worrying about it really isn't an option. But because Java is written this way, we still have to do it this way. So the first variable that we are going to look at, okay, we are going to start off with our numeric variables, okay? But most importantly, all of these variables that we are learning today are called primitive variables. You need to know this term. Primitive variables basically mean they can only do one thing. They can hold only numbers or a letter. They don't have any special characteristics. They don't have any special qualities. They only hold a number or a letter. Are we understood? So the first one that we are going to learn, okay? First, what we're going to do is we're going to learn the terms also. When I want to make a variable, we're going to start off with the smallest variable there is, okay? Whenever I want to declare a variable, I say byte, okay? This is the first type of variable we are learning is byte. Byte is the smallest variable there is, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a variable and I'm going to call this byte A. Now in Java, when we do this, this is called making a statement. Statements end in semicolons. This is the biggest mistake that people make, is forgetting their semicolons, okay? Byte A. What I have done is I have declared a certain amount of memory for this variable, and this variable name is A, okay? This is called declaration, okay? Variable declaration, you can just say declaration. Now, I'm going to give A a value, okay? I'm going to give A a value. A is going to equal 16. Oops. Okay, A is equal to 16. This is called initialization. Now notice, what did I not have to type again?
Byte.
Byte. Once I do it one time, once I've declared A to be of a byte, I never have to do it again. Do not do it again. Take a look. If I try to repeat myself, Java, because Java knows byte is a keyword, it's assuming you are wanting to make another variable. You can't do that. So byte A equals 16. So
able
that's
to change it to another variable if you wanted to
yes,
like byte in.
we'll get into that. Don't worry. Okay. So byte A. So declaration, initialization. Okay. Now, as he was saying, so we'll get into that second. Let me actually I don't want to lose my train of thought. Then we can also do byte B equals 32. Notice that I did the declaration and the initialization on the same line. 90% of the time you are going to do this. This is called single line declaration and initialization. Okay, or SLDI for short. I'll accept both. Okay, single line declaration and initialization. You always declare before you initialize. Okay, I declare, initialization is like populating something. I declare this land to be the United States. Now go and populate with Indians. Okay, that's kind of the thing, you know, kind of like not really the same, but you guys get it. All right, little history there for you. So that is the declaration and initialization of a variable. In Java, whenever you make a new variable, you must always say what type of variable it's going to be. You give it a name. The naming rules, I'm not gonna go over. The naming rules are in chapter 2. You will be expected to know those, okay? Thumbs up from everyone? Good. All right, so now, that being said, I'll leave this up here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over, I'm gonna actually delete this for right now, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the variable types that you need to know, okay? First one is byte, byte A. And I'm just gonna do SLDI. Byte A equals 16, okay? Byte is the shortest variable, which means that it can hold the least amount of data. It can only hold a small amount. It's the shortest variable. It can only hold from 128 to, or negative 128 to 127. Okay, so that's the numbers that it can hold. This is 8 bits. 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So technically this is 1 byte or 1 keystroke. Okay, so again, 8 bits. Now, everything is in the power, okay, of 2s and stuff like, or the powers of, so it's like, basically this is 1 bit, multiply 1, or 1 byte, multiply 1 by 8, you get 8 bits, okay? Make sense? All right, the second one, short. Short B equals, and we'll say 7,000. Okay. Short is the second smallest numerical variable. Okay. And this one only holds, so this one is, I think this one's 16 bits. Holds negative 32,768 to 32,767. So let's say I tried to put in 37,000, the number 37,000. I would get an error. It can't hold a number that large. That's what I mean by it goes from this range to this range, okay? Now, the next one, int. Int, who can tell me, what is int short for? Chosen one, what do you think it's short for?
Integers.
Very good, she can be taught. All right, integers, okay? It holds an int. We will rarely use byte. We will rarely use short. The AP does not test for them. We will use int. Int is the only variable that the AP tests for, and it is the most commonly used one, okay? So we're gonna say int C equals, and in this one, it's, let's just say 765,000, okay? Ints is 32 bits, and it holds basically from negative 2 billion to positive 2 billion. I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but it's like 2,146,000, something like that, okay? If you actually want to know what the number is, go 2 to the 32nd power and split it in half. Half go in the positive and half go into the negative. That's how you figure out the range. So for example, okay, short is 2 to the 16th, which comes out to like 64,000. split half one way, split half the other. The negative will always be 1 digit bigger or smaller because 0 goes as a positive. Okay? Now, long, okay? Long F equals, okay? This one is the largest, okay? Long holds basically 9 trillion. A long will hold any number. So 9 plus or minus 9 trillion. We won't ever use long, okay? The key one that we're going to use out of all of this is int. When you write your programs, I will expect you to write your variables as ints. Okay? Now, moving on, we also have what we call precision variables, or floating point variables. Okay? This is very, very, very important, okay? Because Java is not type inferred, and for people with Python, you guys kind of know this already. Computers, as advanced as they are, okay, let's see, Logan, what is another way to write 5? Let's see, I know you know, Thanos, because you would remember this from last year. The second chosen one. What is another way to write 5?
5.0.
Bingo, 5.0. Computers have not figured out how to tell the difference between 5 and 5.0 automatically. So in that case, they needed to create a new variable that could hold decimals. If I say int w, so in G actually, equals 5.0, I get an error, okay? I can't hold decimals in an integer. Instead, I use float, okay? Now, float is 32 bits as well, okay? So you don't need to know what the, what's it called? You don't need to know what the, why is this doing this? 5.0. What error is it giving me? Hold on 1 second. That's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. So it's basically, float is allowing you, I don't know why it's 5.0. Oh, why is it doing that? 5. All right. I'm just going to put that for right now. Okay. I don't know why float is giving me an error.
Mr. Martinez, you have
Yes.
to put an F at the end before
Where?
the semicolon. It should be 5.0 F semicolon.
Oh, it shouldn't use, that's weird. That's probably something new. Okay, that's probably new. Okay, the good thing is we don't ever, we don't ever do that, but we don't even use floats anyway. You guys will be tested on doubles. Okay, double H equals 64 point. Notice that we don't have any errors. This is the one that we are going to be using. Okay, and this one is 64 bits as well, okay? Long is also 64 bits. All right, so these are the variable types that we are going to be using, all right? Now, primitive, precision, those are the key things, all right? So, with working with variables, we also have some rules, okay? Let's say, by the way, if you, I believe, SOP, where is it? No, what is it? There is a shortcut. I can't remember what it is. I'll figure it out. There's a shortcut that you can just type in SOP and you hit command space or shift space and it'll just print system.out.println for you. So you don't have to write it out the whole time. I forgot what it is. Okay, but system.out.println, key rule, okay, with variables. variables do not go in quotes, okay? So for example, if I wanted to print out B, I just put in B, semicolon at the end for my statement, and it will print out 7,000. Okay? Anybody have any questions regarding that? Okay, let's say I wanted to print out, let's say, for example, down here, I said int x equals 8, int y equals 9, and I did x plus, whoops, x plus y, 17. It does the math for us, okay? This is how variables work. Now, Will brought up a very interesting thing. Variables are allowed to do what? What are variables allowed to do? Go ahead, who said it?
Change.
Change, okay? They're allowed to change. So I made int x equals 8, int y equals 9. Now I'm going to say x equals 87. Now if I print this out, it's 96. Java is what we call a top-down programming language. It will read from the top to the bottom. So at this point, x is 8. In this line, x is still 8. Ah, now we've changed it. From this line forward until it gets changed again, it will be 87. Okay? Again, that term is called top-down programming. All right, so other rules that we have, okay? Let's say, I'm going to put z. Let's say int x equals 24. Int y equals 32. Int z equals x plus y. That is legal. Okay? If you have variables that match each other, you can add them and store the answer into a variable, okay, of the same type. This is an int, this is an int, therefore this is an int, this is okay as well, okay? The same rule applies for doubles, okay? I'm just showing you guys kind of just a preview. We're not going to go in. There's a thing called casting we will get into next week, but I'm not going to go too crazy on that, okay? So we'll get into casting. Casting is a whole mixed bag, all right? But it's actually easier in Java. So the next thing that we're going to cover really quickly is concatenation. Now that we're learning variables, okay? Now that we're learning variables, what you guys are going to do is you guys, let's say I wanted int x is 24 and int 32 or int y is 32. Let's say I wanted to print out the sentence. X is 24 and y is 32. Together they are and whatever. So I can say x is 24 and y is 32. And together they are, what's 32 plus 24? 56? Yeah, 56. Is that statement, with the variables that I have, is that statement accurate? Yes or no? If I asked you, if I gave you exactly this and I told you to print out this, technically are you correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I have any choice but to give you credit?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. I have no choice but to give you credit. I have to. But what if I changed 24 to 100? Is this statement accurate now? And it would be annoying to constantly always have to go through and change it, right? Wouldn't it be easier to just read directly from the variable? But I can't. If obviously you see X's in the quotes, this is where a term comes in, concatenation, okay? Concatenation. Concatenation is combining literals with variables. Basically what it does is it allows you to break away temporarily from the literal and go to a variable. And in most cases also go back to the literal or end on a variable. So for example, X is, what I do is I put my quote there, I close my quote. I use a plus symbol. X is plus X. Now I want to go back to my literals. And Y is, I'm going to break again, and I'm going to add Y. Now I want to go back to my literals, and together they are, and I want to just show what the answer is. So I concatenate one last time, and I add Z. Okay? So let me make this a little bit. There we go, perfect. Okay? So I went from literal. This allows me to break away to go to my variable. This allows me to go back to my literal, variable, literal, and I ended on a variable. Now notice there's no errors. I can also just end on a literal as well. Just make sure you're ending the right way. So for example, I see a lot of people do this, so add one last plus. The computer's expecting something. Okay? So together they are plus Z. So if I do this, I run this now, X is 100 and Y is 32. Now remember, take a look at the and. If there's spacing, I have to pre-format it. It's annoying. Okay, so X is 100 and Y is 32, and together they are 132. Now, let's say I made this that. X is this and Y is 32, and together they are this. This works for doubles as well. This works for anything, any variable type, okay? All right? Now, I'm just briefly going to cover the word variables, strings. Strings are going to be a pain in the butt, okay? There's a lot of methods with strings. We're gonna get through it, don't worry, okay? So we have primitive variables. Now, all of these are primitive as well. These are just happen to be numerical primitives. These are precision primitives. We have two last ones that we need to learn, okay? These are for words and letters and everything, okay? The first one is char. Now, what is char short for?
Character.
If somebody says Care Bear stare, I'm going to be very upset. Logan, what's it short for?
Character.
Very good, character, okay? Meaning a single letter, okay? So I'm going to say car equals, and in apostrophes, I put there, okay? Car equals A. And of course,
You never set a variable or set a.
oh, whoops, you're right. Sorry, car, let's say T. I never give it a name. Thank you for that. Car T equals A. Okay? There's more to character variables. Again, this is more of just an introduction. Okay? I don't want to go too crazy. Okay? Car T equals A. All right? Then I have string Z, or let's say string W, equals, in quotes, hello, how are you? Oh, very, very interesting, okay? Hello, how are you? I'm good, thank you, okay? So this is, the character only holds a letter. Notice also that it is in apostrophes, okay? String is this one is not a primitive variable, okay? This one is a special type. It's actually what we would refer to as an object, okay? And we'll see why. We're literally gonna spend 2 days on strings, guys, okay? So these are the two that are remaining. Car still is a primitive variable. String is not. Car can hold one keystroke. String, basically you could put the entire Bible, Torah, Quran, whatever, into one string. And as long as you have the memory, it will run. I know like the big thing, there was like some guy, he put the entire Bible into one variable called Bible. Okay? Oh, clever! Funny! All right, so, but we'll get into that later. All I'm doing again is I'm just giving you guys an introduction to character and string. We are way gonna go into it significantly, much, much more, okay? So, give me 1 second. Where is it? Does anybody have any questions right now, by the way?
Mr. Martinez,
Yes.
could you enable the test or the quiz? Because I can't take it right now.
You're gonna have to wait until after the lesson and then I'll allow you to take it.
Okay.
Okay, so on chapter 2, you're not, so this is why it's important, guys. So on chapter 2, you're not gonna see you won't see car, bite, int, any of those things at all, okay? All right, so what you're gonna see is basically you have this, how many of you guys watched my video again from yesterday, or at least saw it? Okay, good. Did it come out clear? Was it okay? You know, other than God blessing me with the voice of a little flute, I think it came out pretty good, okay? So, stop laughing. So, all right, so that being said, that's it for today. I don't want to overload you. Your homework assignment is going to be chapter 2, 2 through 12 evens, okay? And all I want you guys to do is you'll see that there's a submission box, okay? So first of all, so anybody who's really an overachiever, don't rewrite the questions. Save yourself some time. Just give me the answer, okay? And do me a favor, also put a space between each one. So the answer for number 2, so double space it. 2, 4, 6, okay? I don't want to clump, it just makes it harder for me to grade. If it's separated, it makes it a little bit easier, okay? Just it spares my eyes, all right? So your homework is going to be 2 to 12, but remember, you need to read chapter 2. There is stuff in there that I did not cover. As well, there's stuff I covered today that that was not in the book. For example, let me go back. Like for example, so we covered again, you'll need to know byte, short, int, long. Which one is the variable that we will predominantly use?
Int.
Very good. You'll need to know the bit rates. Okay, you'll need to know the bit rates. You'll need to know your precision. Which one is the precision variable that we will mainly use?
Double.
Very good, double. And then the last one, string and char. You'll just need to know what they are. You won't need to know anything else, okay? You'll just need to know that strings go in quotes and characters go in apostrophes. I will go after you, okay? If you saw, I already had a trick question on the quiz. Did you guys see it? Don't say anything to Henry, okay, because he hasn't taken it, but there was a trick question on the quiz, okay? So hopefully some of you, it looks like I got a lot of 4s, so most of you guys caught it. So make sure, Henry, you go slow, okay? All right, so that's it for today, guys. I thought it was a good lesson. As you can see, even though we're online learning, how many of you guys actually feel that 1, it sucks to be out of the classroom, but 2, you're able to follow the code and kind of see it it's actually quite easier doing this online. How many of you guys would agree?
Yes.
Okay, how many of you guys just miss my humor and my face and just wish you could have me in person? That boy,
No.
Lance, extra credit. So that's my boy. You're my boy, Blue. So, all right. Okay, so guys, we don't see each other tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Again, we will cover strings. There will be a quiz first thing Monday morning. Oh, also, one other thing. On Tuesday, so I'm going to get this out of the way right now. Tuesday, okay, we have to move class to the evening, if possible. If you can't make it, that is okay. But it's our first day back as teachers, and they've asked me to do a workshop. So make plans Tuesday. It won't be too late. It'll be sometime after 2:30. So I'm gonna try to do it like at 4:30, if that's okay. If you got sports, let me know. The later the better, but remember, I gotta teach back-to-back classes. Otherwise, I may just do one session that everyone can hop into. Okay, are you guys okay with that? And then you guys can just watch it online. So that is Tuesday, and it's gonna be an important class. We will be on our second day of strings. Make sure you're there. Okay, and also I have a PowerPoint that I use that I will be distributing as well for that. I do upload some of my PowerPoints for this class. It will be very helpful for you guys. All right, you guys enjoy class? Beautiful. All right, guys, take care. Thanks again, and welcome to the Marty Party.
I have a question on the quiz.
Oh, I bet you do. Hold on. Henry, leave, and then go take the quiz. Wait till he leaves, Thanos.
Wait, how will I know when the quiz is ready?
Hold on, I'm gonna do it right now. Hold on, Thanos. Hang tight.
Oh,
Okay, it's set for 2:30. You can take it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. What's your question, Thanos?
on the second one,
Okay.
was it an error?
Let me see. Let me stop recording.